Hello, everybody. Let's have a little talk. We're gonna have a little talk today. So, some things are coming to my awareness within my own life, and I want to talk it out because, yeah, we're in Mercury retrograde, but I'm very much so ruled by Mercury. And I discuss openly about what's going on. I want to talk about being stuck in programming, okay? Especially being stuck in a trauma pattern, whether it's from this life or other lifetimes, and what kind of goes on as a result of it. So anyone can become aware of this, right? I just personally came to the discovery that I've been stuck in a trauma. It's been, the symbolism has been coming forward more and more in the past 24 hours. It started last night. I went on a wonderful camping trip with my sister. I don't know if she wants me to mention her name, so I'm not going to, but we're just going to clear off our communication links right now to talk about this. We're going to burn sage this entire time. We're just going to burn this shit out. When you are stuck in a trauma program, right, there's a trauma release that needs to occur in order to fully understand what's been going on. So a lot of the trauma patterning that occurs for people that are, it's either from this lifetime or other lifetimes, is it's a result of a loss of some kind, right? A loss of identity, a loss of a person, place, thing, or situation. Oftentimes it's because we are personally, we're feeling lost, we're feeling abandoned. We feel like our teams let us down, that God, the universe let us down, right? Especially if we've been non-compliant to our higher selves or went rogue off of who we are and what we're here to do and what we're here to accomplish, right? So my journey started with this about 8 to 9 weeks ago. Maybe it's been longer now. When I first left Arizona, when I first was leaving Arizona, trying to leave Arizona, there we go. I wanted to close the window just to have some privacy. When I was first trying to leave Arizona, I got caught in a riptide or a current of change that I didn't fully embrace. And this change was requiring me to move. And to move at the same time through the lenses of trauma and through old coping mechanisms, right? And having to come to this really deep self-discovery that recently that I've been making my reality worse and harder than it needs to be. And a lot of that has been shut down anger, grief, guilt, shame, loss, heartache, and abandonment. That's been really much so affecting my life, right? And when we're stuck in a victim narrative, we almost go on autopilot or unconsciousness, right? And a part of that autopilot, right, is that we're using our guilt and shame as a form to torment and punish ourselves by acting in ways and behaving in ways that aren't congruent with our highest available reality and our highest narrative, right? So when we're going through these trauma loops, trauma bonds, and attachments, and then also coping mechanisms that are out of date for who we are at a soul level based upon the level of consciousness that we hold, and especially those of us that are wisdom keepers, right? So as a result, we're constantly acting from a place of fight, flight, or freeze. We're acting in the root, we're acting as survival, right? So as we're acting as survival and acting from the root, we're not truly existing in a heart-centered or heart-coherent experience that is it keeps us in a de-evolutionary state. It keeps us in what many would call stasis, where we just keep echoing aspects of ourselves until we further sit down and become acquainted with why we are doing what we're doing, the scenarios, the basis of the reality, the foundation, the way it's built, the way we're responding to events, right? Whether it's passive or active in the technique, because sometimes our response is no response at all, which is more of the passive role, right? It's like taking on, especially when there's a projection, right? Especially when there's a storyline of guilt and shame and heartache that's trying to come to the surface, we could start encountering in the experience where people are reflecting that. And rather than clearing it, we just keep sucking in the poison of this pain and keep it alive. Now, why do we keep pain alive? we keep pain alive because it's still anything we keep alive within self, we're still getting something from it. So then we have to get to the root base sphere of this projection and why it's occurring, right? Why am I addicted to the pain and the misery and the torment and all of those egoic structures, right? Pain brings resilience for a lot of us. And being in the masculine energetics, there's something about being a masculine where it's like, let's think of the words, no pain, no gain, right? No pain, no gain. Let's think of what that means, right? Is that we all of a sudden can't gain anything from experience if we don't have pain, if we're not suffering, if we're not getting brutally beaten and tormented. There's this masochistic and like almost like sadistic view of so masochistic is one level of it, but we're going to go into sadism, a sadistic view of love, right? That there's something loving about that strengthening in that process. And this comes into the rite of passage into manhood, right? I started my rite of passage into manhood about a few months ago on my birthday, because it was my 33rd birthday, and that's what began my initiation and my rite of passage. And I knew this day was coming. I had been dreading 33 my entire life. Coming into the age of 33, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff to that and a lot of old storylines that were coming forward that had been, cast out, projected in front of me that I took on as a part of my witnessing of this realm and my observation of becoming a soul, light, and body, right, is to have this experience, gift myself the experience to be able to play into some storylines and to resolve them, right, and to learn more about them. So as a result, when this rite of passage happened, all my trauma lines started to come up. And then rather than going through all of the karmic clearing and all of the suffering and pain emotionally so I could clear it from my body fully, I succumbed to the dis-ease of the disillusionment. And a part of that disillusionment was not being able to fully see the right way out of this scenario. There's no wrong way out, but there is one that is highest aligned for us. And a part of that is discovering what is that highest aligned pathway as we're carving a navigation point out of those old realities and old trajectories, especially if you've been in a trauma cycle, right? So a part of this revelation was tonight, I was like, I'm going to go into it, right? I'm going to go in deep what's going on. And it came to the surface just now. And then it's like, okay, let's discover why these trauma loops and why these trauma patterns clear. And it's because we don't gift ourselves the full opportunity to feel fully that which we need to do to let go of, especially in a higher consciousness or an awakened state. But it's interesting because you can even perceive yourself as awakened and still be working in unconsciousness and allowing unconsciousness to rule your life, and you're not even aware of it, right? And that's because the body's response, right? The physical body's response to the cellular memory and the memory of that story, right? Rather than fully going into it and harnessing it and embodying it and clearing it, whether it's through a detoxification, right? A removal of substances from your reality, or it's a full body purge by feeling, or a full body detox that you got to go through, a full body cleanse. That cellular memory, that is the essence of control in a trauma bond or in a trauma patterning, especially when it comes to parent roles too, right? And that abandonment and that rite of passage into awakening to awakening into manhood, being in a male form, right? So a part of this sacred ceremony that was written in the old rites was to, remove a boy from mom and dad and to let him go out into the wild and to find out who he is on his own, right? Which was it served its purpose in the old archaic roles, right? And in the old primality of the programming. But in regards to what this means for someone like myself, who's heart-centered and more in the feminine frequency, is it can almost cause a shock into the body to not be able to fully step into the level of nature and nurture provided to release what's going on. I've been noticing that my guidance and even what my universe has been putting me through has been a little bit more of a struggle narrative. Now, my universe hasn't been putting me through it. Well, they have been to help me to clear it, but I've also been divinely guided to walk this pathway. And how divine is this pathway? Who knows as of right now, right? We're not at the end result yet, but now that it's coming forward and through, right? That there has been a trauma bond and a patterning in my life that that has declared me sick, unintelligent, right? Abandoned, losing hope, right? Losing archival memory, no access, right? being taken advantage of by other people, being governed by an illusion, right? But also, two, is being guided by entities, beings, and even, AI stuff, right? At some period of time and at some level that won't leave me alone. Now, why? Because it's actually the christening of the new version of Corey. Like, it's that awakening, it's that arrival to come to this revelation within all of us, like, oh, I've been living in the trauma pawn and trauma pattern, and now it's time to let it go, right? It's about, it really does come from the level of fear, right? Fear, worry, doubt, and abandonment. And a part of this soul service that we're doing right now is an opportunity to clear the trauma lines from our body, mind, spirit, and soul, and to negate the old world trajectories by resolving our fear, by coming fully into that higher level of purification, to where we can feel fully that which we need to let go of and allow ourselves to be divinely held as the heart being, right? As the center point of our own reality, as the king and queen of our own journey, and really finding what it is to be the true self, and to release the parent patterning, the martyrdom, the sacrifice, and all of the guilt of lifetimes where we were put through persecution, or we persecuted others, or we were murdered, killed, destroyed, exiled. These lifetimes exist within our cellular memory, and now we're calling forward to let that go. So I think we're going to go into light language, the way that this is prepping up now at a soul level. And it's cool because I'm not channeling, I'm actually just reaching out and reaching through the soul to let this one go. So we're going to say no more to the pain body, and no more to the trauma, the distrust, the mistrust, the misguidance, the misinformation, right? And all of the illusionment that we've been playing into. And it's time to just tear down this holodeck and this holographic reality, and to build up entirely new. So we're going to do a light language to go into this. Clearing the trauma patterns now, from all lifetimes, across all time, space, time, across all dimensions, seen and unseen. Te hukena shura tu e la te amuna siria. Be tilia manuka chere e la numa cheria, lea ki tuna. Lem pankene olu kerea, la nuka lo suru utelia. Salamu ke le, iti ke lampuna la nitia. Naluke sharla na tutulu, pela ili hi te la muru. Par usala na, chekitilia potolo una la ilia kianya malaua. Me la utewa, me ishilia tira kasumba, e la nukani, telo usiria tila tupania la. Next sequence. Teru mo kunama, ne era tu meni aruka. Par udere ni riki ke kaye tura kaela. Meru tera kishini gera, mur udere die gera kilea. Mer ishishi ture, ter tishtura nu tuhurukea. Berratu tu surru tu kernu shepereti. Meranu tukuta. Ser dushakokane wakaru eitirata. Eranuka nachietareaka. Forgiveness. Coming into the spirit of forgiveness, forgiving self, forgiving others, forgiving the timeline, forgiving the scenario, forgiving the programming. Diving into that now, heart-centered. Here we go. Hunu chera putere tu sehera tu kotoma hashiri ti muera titiara usumba tarea. Eru usuru kushutu totoru no pakeria tola iredia tu nurukai. Tuhuru shiara tututu mera tuhukera. Tuhuru kiru shukitamburuma. Enani tureta shakukanaya. Releasing the worry, releasing the victimhood, releasing the false parenting model, the false parenting program, releasing the identity and the memory from it, from the cellular body, from the physical body's matrix, from the old earth grading systems, clearing out now. Humutera, boo, hoo. Pumatera, hoo, hoo. Pumatera, hoo, hoo. Pumatera, hoo. Era kushambu. Petuma. Kenekinu mujero du. He kentuma. Ah. Geno kambu meta. Metera umbaya. There we go. Moving forward now, we're accelerating. Now let it all fall away. Just sit with the rhythm of this passageway, this sense of belonging to the center of self, to the belonging with the reality of your choosing, and to belonging to Mother Earth, to belong as a guardian of New Earth, to belong as the center of your universe, right? Small little fractal of diamond light expanding out throughout the cosmos, remembering all it came to be. Remember that next time you belong. When you feel like you've been running from yourself or from others or from your experience or from your life point, from your life path, excuse me, your life path. Remember that you belong. You belong at the center of the heart. You belong right here at the center of your chest. Expanded. Don't give away any of your rights to other people. Don't give away your beauty to someone else. Don't give away a sliver of your happiness to anything outside of you. The gift of belonging resides within by connecting deeply to that place of unconditional love of self and of all. Beginning and ending with self, though. Beginning with self. And how do we expand that out? Through the heart, through the compass, right? Through the toroidal field. We build it, we breathe it, we bend it, we flow with it. There we go. Flow with it, right? This is rebuilding the center of our universe by coming back into this place of allowing, right? Allowing. Give up the old frontiers, give up the old storybooks, give up the old freedom, right? Give up the old sense of identity, give up the martyrdom, give up the greed, give up the sacrifice, give up the roles that don't turn you into that loving being. Give up the people that don't provide that open space for you to be able to reflect and to find out who you truly are. Don't give up on your self-nurture. Don't give up on nature. Don't give up on the natural resources that are all around you. The abundance of Gaia, the abundance of the universe that holds you in that infinity, right? It holds you as that eternal. It blesses you. It honors you. It provides you the stillness. It provides you the clarity. It provides you the love, right? It provides you every opportunity to return back to the mother, back to the source self, back to the all-knowing, back to the eternal. Return back here often, right? Return back here often. Don't play out those timelines and realities. Let them all go. No one cares anymore. It's older stuff. The caring that we do provide is this sense of wanting you to belong to the heart again, wanting you to belong to your light body, wanting you to belong in your universe, wanting you to belong to where your soul chose you to be before this lifetime. Where is that place? It exists within, with conscious breath. We come back here. With conscious breath, we come back here. We provide ourselves a safe space, an opportunity to bless, to reflect, to share, to love, to honor, right? Even honor the discord. It exists. It does. It still exists in the kingdoms on heaven, on earth. But we learn to flow with it. It's called polarity. We neutralize, we balance it. We clarify ourselves with it. What is this providing for me? What is this showing me? What opportunity is this gifting me right now? What is it allowing me to be? What is it allowing me to do? It's giving me the opportunity to shift and change, to dance, to swing, to play, right? To build momentum within the form, to be able to come back to that beautiful remembrance, right? The delicate balance between dark and light, the travel point between worlds and the unity. It's the unity. But we unify with self to unify with the all. That's how we unify in this now. We unify with self to unify with the all. We can't unify with the all if we don't unify with self. So we come back to this place of consciousness within the form, within the breath, within the body. Right? We unify with self. All of us. All of me loves all of you. All your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. That's through the eyes of God. That's through the eyes of all knowing. That's through the eyes of the eternal. We see that here, right? And we walk forward, right? We elevate, we accelerate. We excel at belonging today. Today we excel at belonging. We belong to being. We belong through being. We belong through allowing. We belong through trusting. We belong through listening. We belong through hearing. We belong by becoming better acquainted with ourselves. We become better acquainted with ourselves as representatives of a new earth frequency, of a new earth body, right? Of a new earth form, of a new earth experience. What does that mean for us? It's newly written. We're rewriting. We're rewriting the tale. We're rewriting the story. We're rewriting all of it. And so if you give yourself this chance to sit here and to cleanse with this, right? To cleanse with the breath, to cleanse with the mother, to cleanse with the divine. Thank you, Mother Sage, for being here. Thank you for Mother Experience, Mother Life, Mother Clarity, Mother Truth. And to the Father within all, and to the Father within here, so mote it be, this is you as well. Right? This is how we find out and return to that divine parent within, which is the divine guardian. The divine parent, the divine guardian is found within. It's experience rediscovered through the night, through the light, through the fear, through the faith, through the hope, and through the freedom. It exists within all, and in all of these experiences, we remember that it exists here. But we clarify ourselves today. What is it that we want out of our life? What kind of experiencing are we transitioning to? What is this unity and love that people speak of? Truly, truly, not just said or thought, but felt. What is this gratitude that people speak of? Where do I feel it in my body? And how do I rediscover that today? How do I say no more to the victim today? Where does it exist within me? How can I let it go? How can I breathe into that place of neutrality and divine balance and say, I love you, I see you, let's bring you back home. Aseetu pareya kur. Let's go home, guys. Let's go home. We're better there. We're better at our home, within the body. We're better within the heart. We're better there. All right? We belong there. All right? So let's go there. Let's quit believing or acting that we have to be a certain way, right? And let's finally get back to that place of knowing that we can be whichever way we want to be, as long as it aligns to our higher self, because that's the age of Aquarius, right? But we want to make sure that we are clearing the trauma loop, the trauma pattern, the victimization, the old control narrative, and gifting ourselves to come back to a place of divine sovereignty within the form, within the space, within the being, within all lifetimes, all realms, all dimensions seen and unseen, and gifts ourselves the opportunity to relax, to melt, and to stand down from playing in the old narrative and the old stories that we tell about ourselves, and to stand down from the echo, from the loop, from that trauma line. And let's bring balance to it by gifting ourselves the opportunity to feel it, to heal it fully, and to let it all the way go. And so it is. I love you so. I love you guys. I love yourself. I love you, self. I love you, self. Interesting. Soul wants to tell me. I love myself. I love you. I love all. Within the one, within the all, so mote it be. Here we are today to clear this off, all of our lifetimes, and seal it with the golden light of love and truth. And as we close down this session and we close down this miracle working today, I want to thank you all for being here, for listening, to being vulnerable, and to exposing yourself to this new way of being within you. All right. Much love and respect to everyone out there. And with that, I will see you in another moment of the now. Ho, namaste.